archive on May 10, Paul Ansorge looked at Dwight Yorkes' impact on Manchester United. There are two stories which immediately spring to mind when thinking of Dwight Yorke and Manchester United. The first is a tale retold in Roy Keane's first autobiography. When Sir Alex Ferguson informed the dressing room he had reversed his decision to retire in 2001, Keane turned to Yorke and, in more colourful language than this, suggested that might be bad news for the Trinidad and Tobago international. The second is Gary Neville on live television after he had transitioned from player to pundit, saying, "I live my life vicariously through Yorke's phone." But the smiling, fun-loving, and, frankly, somewhat playboyish reputation that Yorke carries belies the truth about the spectacular impact he had on Manchester United when he arrived from Aston Villa in the summer of 1998. In the 3-and-a-bit seasons which followed, he started 120 games, made 32 substitute appearances and scored 66 goals. That, in totality, is not a bad record at all. But where he really shone was in his first two campaigns, and where he really shone was in the first. Because in 199,899, while the first names that jump out might be Roy Keane for the Stadio dell'Alpia, Ryan Giggs for Villa Park, or Ole Gunnar Solskjaer for the Nou Camp, David Beckham for assist after assist after assist, in truth Yorke might just have had the best season of all of them. He was top scorer for the club across all competitions with 29. Second that list was Andy Cole with 24. His performances were hugely lifted by Yorke's presence. The two brought the best out of each other, certainly, but the relaxation and happiness that followed Yorke around clearly benefited Cole enormously. More forensically, that goal-scoring statistic has another key component. In a season with unprecedented and not seen success in fighting on multiple fronts, Yorke was vital in all of them. Not only was he the top scorer overall, but he was specifically top scorer in the league, the FA Cup and the Champions League. In all three of the competitions United won, he scored more goals than anyone else. The manner of the goals is worthy of mention too. He could be a poacher. His home debut saw him score a brace, both from either inside of or very close to the 6-yard box. The next two, including his first in Europe, were both similarly located. But there was much more to him than just that. The twisting run that led to his goal against Wimbledon, for example, or his rasping shot against Barcelona from outside of the area. And, of course, that game also featured a key example of just how he made Cole better, as the two of them linked beautifully. A dummy from Yorke was knocked back to him by Cole. Yorke returned the favour and Cole slotted home. The two displayed vast footballing intelligence and a profound understanding of each other's play. Indeed, watching them in action is nostalgic, not just from a United point of view, but in terms of how a functional strike partnership is one of the best things football has to offer. The sooner a front two truly makes its way back into the footballing mainstream, the better. It is often said of Yorke that his hunger was sated by the treble season, that he did not have that driven, dysfunctional will to win that defined Ferguson's long-serving players. If that's true, perhaps he should be lauded for it. There is something to be said for appreciating what you have already done, rather than constantly striving for the next hit of endorphins that comes from success, or being so terrified of failure you have to prove yourself over and over. In United's best ever season, Dwight Yorke might just have been the best player. That is proof enough. Keane was right. Ferguson's staying was bad news for Yorke and he was soon on his way. But it does not really matter. He lived a full life nonetheless, and at his footballing peak was quite simply one of the best who ever did it. Share this 27,088 Dwight Yorke, Manchester United, Premier League.